Hello everyone, it's Diane, and guess what? My chocolate book is complete. I made a 2.5-inch spine for it, and I love this journal. Some of you have watched some of the process videos and heard the story about why Hershey, Pennsylvania is important to my family and me. And I've always loved chocolate. So this is a special book, and this one is for me. So I had found this book. It's a cookbook at a flea market. It's Maida Heater Chocolate Cookbook. I don't have the spine right here to show it to you. Yes, I do. Here it is, in case you want to look for it. Maida Heater's Book of Great Chocolate Desserts. And there's the publisher. So I fell in love with this, and I knew Mrs. Cog had just put out a chocolate digital kit. So I bought this and got the chocolate kit, and we were in business. And you lovely people, I love that my subscribers pay attention to my interests and when I mention upcoming projects, and you care enough, you're interested enough in what I'm doing that you send me happy mails with elements to include in my journals. And so I have several people to thank for some of the things that are in this journal. So let's just start into it. This is a Mrs. Cog's image right here, and it's the Baker's Chocolate Lady. And this is a piece of vintage lace that I've had for quite a while. I love it, so I'm glad I get to have a piece on my journal. Some pink eyelet wide lace is behind her, and this is part of a doily that I cut up, and a little piece of the mint green lace that Donna Toll just sent me, and this little piece of a doily also. I didn't want to cover up those beautiful chocolate images, but since the back has it all, it's the same as the front, I went ahead and I can keep this plain. I covered the spine with a brown fabric, just plain brown fabric, and I created a new spine. Obviously, the spine I just showed you from the cookbook was a lot smaller. So I created a spine with chipboard, Tyvek, and then this fabric. And then I put some very wide lace. It was wide enough to go over the spine and then come over to the side, to the front and the back. And then I put this crocheted lace with ribbon through it. This lace came from Hobby Lobby. And I used this. It looks like a spoon handle that was bent into a hook. So I just glued it down with my Glossy Accents glue and put a hole in the back where my hair tie could go, and it fastens like that. It is chunkier than my normal books. I used a lot of linens and laces in here. So this is a piece of linen. I had shown this in a previous video. I just cut it. It's like a little pillowcase, but it had this gorgeous little trim on it. Mrs. Cog's image, and I don't remember where I got this image. And this is a stamp up here. I stamped it on pink cardstock, and it says, "I would give up chocolate, but I'm no quitter." Now, one thing I was having trouble with as I tried to get started on this book was that I didn't really like the papers I had. I had a set of brown, like a chocolate brown paper from Stampin' Up from years ago. Here's an example of one of them. So they're double-sided, and it was all brown, a couple shades of brown, and then some creamy color. But all I had left were smaller pieces and then this piece. And I was so disappointed that I didn't have any more of that paper. But Donna sent me a package just this past week that had papers in it that were just what I needed. And so you'll see some of those. This is the Stampin' Up paper. I used pink as my other color. So this is a chocolate brown and pink journal. This word here was cut from the Mrs. Cog's digital kit. And then Donna had sent me this paper. See if I have a sample. Yeah, this cardstock. It's got a little bit of shimmer and texture and that chocolate brown color. And to me, it looks like a chocolate bar that would melt in your hand. So I made this little pocket out of it and put some vintage lace on it and a Mrs. Cog's image. and just cut a tag out of pink cardstock, and this recipe is torn from this chocolate book. There's a bulb pin and some lace and an eyelet, a little metal eyelet there. And this doily I had in my stash, it had been already dyed with probably food coloring. And these images are from Nostalgia Graphic Land. I finally remembered where I got these little round images. I'll link that below. I'll link Mrs. Coggs below. This is a page from a baker's recipe book. It was a more modern book. Not brand new, but I don't have the cover. But that's okay. I tore some really lovely chocolate pages out of this. So that's what this is. You can see the baker's chocolate lady imprinted on that chocolate bar. Tissue paper, I'm going to have to glue this on. It's one of the little vintage stickers, and I stamped chocolate chip on it. One of them came off. So I'm going to go back. See, this one's coming off too. So I'm going to have to glue that on. This is from, by the way, this is a design team project for TLC Creates Vintage. This is one of the papers, and this is a brand new. She took the month of December off, and then when she reopened, she had a lot of new stuff, and she's put several new things in even since then. And this was one of the new items that she put in. It's called Chocolate is Life. So I asked her for that, and that's what because I was already making this journal, so how perfect. So this has chocolate covered strawberries, which is my favorite chocolate treat, I think. This is a stamp from an old Stampin' Up set with all those yummy chocolates. Some lace with some gingham ribbon, and this little piece Donna sent me. And this is a page from the TLC kit. It's got cupcakes and chocolate, and I just cut a 4-inch square and then cut it in half diagonally and put it on as corners. It's another page from the Baker's Chocolate book, and then this card from Betty Crocker. It just tucks right in there. Here's one of the images that I stamped and then used silver embossing powder, and then a Mrs. Coggs image with lace on it. This is from this book. Some parchment paper. It's just got a little bit of a flip here, a scrap of a different linen. You'll see it in the next signature. And a piece of vintage velvet ribbon that my friend Leslie sent me. And then this little scrap of lace. I used a pink guest check here on this recipe page. This is a stamp, and this is another page from TLC Creates Vintage. I think this is supposed to be a journaling card, but I didn't shrink it down to journaling card size. I wanted to use it as a page. And I'm gonna put something on these strings, but I didn't do it yet. Some pink seam binding and a little bit of lace here. There's another stamp. And this is a stamp that I have. I stamped it on pink cardstock and put it on as a little tuck. This is a Mrs. Coggs image. I love Boston cream pie. I made it once. It wasn't that hard to make. It was delicious. But there is a lot of dishes to clean up when you're done because you have all the elements. But anyway, it was good. And there's a whole recipe right there if I could read it. It's pretty small. Some lace and some gingham ribbon. This is something that someone sent me. I don't remember if this came from Doris. Doris sent me a bunch of stuff for my chocolate journal early in November, and so a lot of that is in here too. So this might have come from her, but I don't really remember. I have to watch that video again. But it's heavy. I put some paper on it for journaling. It came with this little hanger thing, and I just tied some of these fibers on that Donna sent me, and it says Roundtree's Milk Chocolate, and it's a little thermometer. This is a vellum bag with some lace, and then I put this gorgeous lace at the bottom. This is just I think it's supposed to be marble, but to me it looks like swirled chocolate and white chocolate melted, so I use that paper. This is resume paper. I had gotten a box of resume paper at Walmart, I think, on clearance. And I love the creamy color. This is one of the pockets we made in one of the ephemera videos, and it's got the ribbon and the buttons glued on, and then this recipe from Mrs. Coggs with a pink tab and a little bit of lace. I had so much fun decorating this book with some of my gorgeous laces, using the pinks and browns and cream colors. There's my chocolate chip stamp and the TLC paper. Donna had sent me this little scrap of kind of a, it feels like suede, kind of. It's upholstery fabric. It's a sample. So I made a pocket out of it and sewed on some lace and glued on that little image. Here's one of the tags that I made on a video. Doesn't that look yummy? Then I had these Hershey's cards, which I actually bought in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I've had them for years, and so I have some of them in this journal. This is some of the ribbon that Donna sent me just this past week. And this is flocked paper. I love it. And I made a pocket out of it. Sewed this little Hershey card on it. Was it Donna that sent me these? No. Now I don't remember who sent me the cards. Patricia. Patricia sent me chocolate cards. So, and this was some of it. She sent me a bunch of stuff for chocolate. And I don't know what this is from, but it says, "Don't give up, tomorrow will be better." There's always an inspirational quote on these cards. There's a number, there's a chocolate dessert, and then on the back is a scripture. So I put one of them in there. She sent me several of those cards. And I don't remember where this came from, but I don't want to back it for journaling because it's an original piece. And I don't know if I found it or if somebody sent it to me. But again, it's got the baker's lady on it. Okay, and then this came to me from, I forgot, and I just, was it Sarah? I don't remember. Maybe it was Sharon. Somebody sent me this, and I just thought it was gorgeous. I just got it not too long ago. But anyway, there it is. I had to trim a little bit off of here, and I put it in here with some coffee dyed paper, and this is a little cutout from this chocolate cookbook. So here's one of the papers that Donna sent me. It's single-sided. This is from Mrs. Coggs. This is from Mrs. Coggs, and this is the linen piece, and I zigzag stitched around it. It did have some decorative elements. Oh, and this I straight stitched here. And this is the triple tag that I made, and I took out the fibers that I had put in because I'm going to add the fibers from, I have these from Donna, and I'm going to put those in it instead. But there's journaling here and there's journaling there. And I took off the brown ribbon that was around it because it just made it too bulky. Doris had sent me a bunch of stuff. This is from the old design shop. I bought the cooking or the kitchen ephemera set, and so I just printed the pages that had chocolate, or this one is flavoring extract. So I printed that out. But this typed recipe for creme de menthe dessert came from Doris. And this is a vintage trim here. And on here, I stapled this element that I stamped and then colored. And this is a Mrs. Coggs image. And this came from a baker's little cookbook that I bought. It was up at the top. It was fastened at the top and opened this way. I did make some copies of some of it before I used it. But anyway, this is one of the pages from in there. And what do I do with it? I already lost my little Mrs. Coggs image that was there. I just paper clip it in for safe, so it holds it better. And on the white doilies, I thought that these needed something behind them, so I added the brown and pink fibers. TLC. Here's a trim from Hobby Lobby that's got some pink in it, and then I put in this vintage button and added some silk ribbon in there. This is a stamp I have. Friends are the chocolate chips of life. This was cut out from this chocolate recipe book and just glued to some pink coffee dyed paper. And this is from I Don't Know. I got a set of these little pink vintage looking cooking images, and I thought that was perfect for this. Parchment. Here we have some fringed lace. That's probably from Hobby Lobby. Vintage tan velvet ribbon and some polka dot ribbon that came from Donna. There's a little cake stamp. That just looks so yummy. TLC. A rolling pin stamp. This is brown seam binding with some of my pink lace that I cut apart. Here's another couple pages from that Baker's chocolate recipe book, and this is from TLC Creates Vintage. There are two different ticket designs on that. This little brown circle tag Donna sent me, and I stamped this little cake on it and the word delicious, and I stamped some chocolate chips on this pink coffee dyed paper, stitched them together, and then stitched them on as a tuck spot. Another vellum pocket with some lace and a Mrs. Coggs image, and I just stitched a little piece of yellow, creamy yellow eyelet at the top for a tab. This is a copy of the cover of the recipe book that I bought in Hershey on my honeymoon. I have the book. I showed it in my yesterday's video. I'm never going to cut that book up, but I love this image, and it's a replica of a 1934 cookbook. I bought the book in 1977. So I just made a copy, stitched it to coffee dyed paper, added this little piece of lace, and I put it on here so I can write on it. This is more TLC. Donna sent me this, I think. Somebody sent me that little brown sheer bag, and I had this coffee dyed index card that had some holes at the top, so I used pink. I colored these reinforcements pink and then threaded this gingham ribbon, and I glued it down. And these are cards that Patricia sent me. I love these cards. They are a collector trading card from 1995 to celebrate the Hershey Company's 100-year anniversary. And I looked them up. They're from Dart flip cards, and they're trading cards. I looked them up, and there's a set of 100 of these. And she sent me quite a few. Not 100, but she sent me a lot of them. And there's information on the back, very interesting. And so I included a lot of them in this book. Here's some right here. I used that flocked paper from Donna, stitched it on here, and then stitched to make 3 pockets. And I included one of the cards. There's the chocolate plant. And here is an old wrapper design from Hershey's Chocolate, and it says, more sustaining than meat. Sweet milk chocolate, net weight 1/4 pound. The genuine bears this signature, M.S. Hershey. Milton Snavely Hershey. Here's a checklist. I love my to-do lists. This is a stamp that I have. It says to-do list. Eat chocolate, do laundry, clean kitchen. At least she'll get one thing done today. The eat chocolate is already checked off. And this is another stamp from the same set. It says so much chocolate, so little time. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous eyelet type of lace. It is so white and pretty, and I don't remember where I got that. I'm sure someone sent that to me. I just love it. And I put a pink cardstock behind it and stitched this on, which I don't remember where this came from. This is not Mrs. Coggs. And I think this is from the old design shop, Baker's Breakfast Cocoa. And some more of those trading cards. Another pocket made with that brown, chocolatey looking cardstock. It's got vintage lace, Mrs. Coggs image, some vintage green velvet ribbon, and then the green trim that Donna sent, and then another recipe. We're on the third signature now. This is another of the journaling cards from TLC, but I didn't size it down. Some ribbon from Donna, this pretty, very pale pink eyelet that I believe Perio dyed, and I can't remember what she used to dye it with. I don't think it was pomegranate, or not pomegranate. What's the stuff people use that turns things pink? Anyway, I think it was just something different, but she sent that to me, so that came from Germany. And Donna sent me this little plaid square thing, which is perfect. This is another of the papers that Donna sent, and so is this. And that's it. No, that is single-sided. What's the beginning of this book? This is one from Donna. And this one was double-sided, but I made it a pocket so you can't see the other side. It's got this stripe on it. So there's a Mrs. Coggs image here, some vintage pink and white lace. And this is another card from Patricia, and this is from Godiva Chocolates. It says, take an afternoon to window shop together. And a recipe card for old-fashioned fudge. Here's another of the Kiss stamps and another little tag with some lace on it. Here's another flip. This is a beautiful larger piece that I cut. And this mottled brown kind of looks like melted chocolate or chocolate. It reminded me of chocolate anyway. And there's some lace up there. This Kiss I just stamped with brown ink. This is a page, or I think this is a journaling card from TLC also. And I stamped that and used it as a tuck spot. Mrs. Coggs image. This is one of the new laces that I found at Hobby Lobby when they were half price. I stocked up again on the laces that I put on the edges of my pages. And this was new. I hadn't seen that before. And another luscious looking chocolate recipe from the baker's book. There's another tag. A ticket from TLC. And these are the ribbons from Donna. I am going to use this book to write about my memories about Bill going to Hershey school and about going there on our honeymoon and again going with my sister, and I'll put my favorite chocolate recipes in here, especially the Baby Billy hot cocoa recipe that I told a story about. So this is just going to be my book about Hershey and chocolate recipes and stuff. This is a piece of that vintage pink velvet ribbon. I made this little pocket with a rectangle that I rounded the corners and then cut a triangle to stitch on there as another little tuck spot. And I think this is Tim Holtz. Chocolate coconut candies. That looks good. That goes here, and this one goes here. Okay, then we have another pocket with the flocked paper and the Hershey card and the pink and brown and mint green polka dot ribbon. All the things that Donna sent me were just so perfect. Here's the front cover and the back cover from that Baker's chocolate recipe book. And a recipe that came out of it. And Doris sent me this too. When she sent me some things for my chocolate book, this was one of them. I don't want to take this book apart. Baker's Best Chocolate Recipes, and it's, let me see if I can find a year, 1932. I don't want to take this apart. I wanted to make a pocket, a big pocket, and keep it back here, but I don't think I can because of the hole here. I think it would be a tight fit. So I'll just keep it tucked in there. But she sent me this pretty crocheted doily too. And that space in the center was perfect for the size of that I glued in there. So I glued this in as the final little doily tip in. And that is my chocolate book. I love this book. I'm going to admire it a while before I start writing in it probably. Thank you all so much for your interest in this book. Thank you for the things you sent me. I also have some chocolate ribbon coming from Christy from Ooh La La Crafts. She told me that she was sending me some chocolate ribbon. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's her fabric that she tears into strips. I don't know, but it's already in the mail, so I'm hoping I'll be able to incorporate it into the book somehow when it gets here. So all of you who sent me things and have just expressed eagerness to see the book when it was done, I really appreciate it. And I will be making 2 more books, but they won't be anything like this. My light's flashing, my battery's flashing, so I'll try to be quick. I've shown the covers before, but these are going to be large books, more like the domestic art size. So here's one. It's a good sized book. Isn't that a pretty cover? And here's the other one. So I'll be working on these 2 books this week. They won't be styled like this book probably at all. But if you're one of these is going to somebody already. The other one is going to be in the shop. I don't know which my customer wants. So anyway, this is what I'm going to be working on this coming week. So any chocolate elements that I have that didn't get used, I can include in these. And then I won't be making any more chocolate books, I don't think. So thank you again for watching, and I will be with you again soon. Bye-bye.